The warm deck roof is really to prevent the heat come up from the underside going right through the roof. Previously there was no insulation on the roof. All the hot air coming up was going right through the roof. So now it's called a warm deck. The insulation is on the roof, containing the heat within the roof area. This is the old roof, this is the old decking, the felt work and the chipboard. As you can see, the chipboard is extensively damaged, perishing. Here we have the new decking coming along here. This is a new 18mm plywood. What I'm doing now is sealing it with what's called the vapour barrier, which is bonded with hot tar to the decking. As you will see, the tar is being evenly spread in front of the roll. The Type 3B felt is going over the top, ensuring a complete seal over the new decking. As you can see from the rest of the area roof, this is the same method that has been applied there. The new decking and sealed with the first layer. But you can see how extensively damaged the chipboard has been. Okay, you got all that, Mr. Battle?
Right.
That's fine. Just
yes, that is just coming up there. You're just having, you lift it off.
The previous insulation was just glass wool between the joists, which is only 50mm thick. What happens in a wet morning when the roof is damp? Mop up the water, then dry it thoroughly before beginning. As you see the damp area, now the area where I'm working with my new boards now is completely dry. So this is how the new boards are applied onto the decking. The Type 3B vapour barrier. Bonded with hot tar onto the Type 3B that's bonded onto the plywood sheathing. This process continues right through, one line at a time, and as I go along I seal it as I go. I'm just walking over the board to ensure when the tar cools it's bonded properly. This is our sealing on top of the insulation. This material with the holes is called a vapour dispersion layer. The tar, when it's poured over the top, will sit here and there, and it allows for any trapped water vapours to escape. Vapour dispersion layer. So we're sealing over the top of that with the hot tar again. That's me going off it, and that's the process. With the insulation been sealed over the top for the 3G. The reason I'm off it now is to let it cool before I stand in it for doing the edges. This is the process when you're at perimeter edges. Later on I'll take my torch and that and make sure it's right sealed against the rough cast. That's a Hessian, like fleece that's in the top of the boards. Before you do go over the top, you burn that off. And you'll see it's like a layer of tar on top of the boards. So when you're putting your 3B on top, it's going through the multi-holes and sealing onto the tarred base of the insulation. This is the Parlon 77 3mm underlay, which was propane torch applied onto the Type 3B. As you see by the detailing costs, and the detailing costs you'll see the 3B is bonded with hot tar, then the Parlon 77 is propane torch applied onto it. Now the finish layer, which is Parlon NT4 Plus, is propane torch applied onto the Parlon 77 3mm. The method that I'm doing with the finish layer was the same method of the Parlon 77 3mm on the Type 3B. So what you're going to see just now is how the finish layer is applied to the Parlon 77 3mm. And the Parlon 77 3mm was applied as the same method I'm showing you now onto the Type 3B. Tar coming out both sides of polymer bitumen, so that ensures a complete seal. Once again, that is how the 77 3mm was applied onto the Type 3B, the first layer that went over the top of the insulation. You'll notice that area of the roof is still damp there, wet. This area is dry. Prior to the run being applied, the roof is completely dried in the area where you're working. These materials are already coated with what they call polymer bitumens. They're just hit in place and you get it like a flow of polymer coming out each side to ensure a complete seal. This is a mineral drip edge, so as the water drips into the centre of the gutter here. That is brought up back onto the flat area of the roof, approximately 12 inches, and the last layer is coming across it, approximately 5 inches. So as the water's always coming off the seams here into the gutter. This is a new PVC fascia that's applied. Previously the timber fascia is on is solid enough and sound, so this is a 10mm board that has been secured over the top, but prior to it being applied over the top there is a felt vapour barrier behind the new plastic, because the plastic can tend to sweat when the sun's on it, really hot day. So behind the new plastic you still have your original fascia, which was a plywood, solid enough to take the new fascia, which is a 10mm, secured with poly pops, as you can see. We're cutting a groove to enable the lead flashing to get into the wall. We're in here, you can see 1.5 inches. We're just checking it's clear all the way through. This process goes right round the brickwork here. In the spring, the summer weather will come back when it's dry and the roof will be given 2 coats of aluminium solar reflective paint.